in Dallas and that this cinched first ballot Hall of Famer would figure out a way to retire a Cowboy. Nope, sorry. Tyron Smith soon signed a one-year deal with the Jets for what could be worth up to about $20 million with incentives. Keyshawn, scale of 1 to 10, how much will the Cowboys miss your USC's own Ty Smith?
I would say a 10, Skip.
Yeah.
I mean, it's big.
I'm not going to fight you on this.
It's big. I mean, when you look at the Cowboys couldn't do that deal. They couldn't do a salary of 6.5 with incentives that were pushing close to 20, maybe not 20, but close enough. And his incentives are probably tied to games played in games won. That's probably what they are tied to.
I would think.
When you look at the Cowboys with him in the lineup, since 2020, they're 20-10 when he's in the starting lineup.
That works.
They're 22-15 when he's not in the starting lineup since
not
2020.
Huge, but still significant.
And I understand the injuries that he's had and missed some time and all that, but you can't keep a Hall of Fame bookend left tackle that was just, when he was on the field last year, it was a nightmare. Some of those games that I watched, those defenders would rush, and they would just quit. They would literally just give up and say, you know what, never mind. I'm not ever getting to the quarterback. When you talk about the depth chart, so they're going to move Tyler Smith over to the left side.
Yeah.
TJ Bass is going to be the left guard, 2 starts, undrafted free agent, okay? So he's undrafted. 2 starts. Doesn't mean anything. It means, guys miss, but he's undrafted. The center, undrafted guy from Virginia Tech as well, in Brock Hoffman. Then you got Zach Martin, and then you got Terrence Steele at the right tackle. That certainly does not feel like murderer's row for the offensive line, and you're now going to have to pay a quarterback a boatload of money, by the way, who just gave you a little bit of cap relief. Just a little bit. Yep. They gave you a little $5 million cap relief. You're going to give them $4 million of real money early.
Yep.
That helps the team out. But in the end, you lose an anchor that's been an anchor of your offensive line forever. I just don't understand. I don't understand what Jerry and company saw. I really don't. The Jets won this one. The Jets and Aaron Rodgers, they should be jumping for joy, especially if he can stay healthy.
To your point, to that point, he was only healthy 33 of his last 63 games. But also to your point, when he was right, there's nobody more right in the league than he was. And last year, he was pretty right as far as health went for the most part. Was he on the field when they fell behind 27-0 in their home playoff game to the Green Bay Packers? The youngest team, yes, he was. So I can't defend that part.
What is he going to do?
Yeah, I understand. but to your other bigger point, when as we watched them very closely last year, there was play after play after play. When I saw, 77? Is that was the number? 77.
77.
Yeah. I would fixate on who was trying to rush through 77, and they would just get engulfed, where they would just quit because he just smothers people. He just envelops people. And he doesn't have a big personality, so we don't know him off the field very well. He doesn't speak much to the media. I don't know if you ever crossed his path or get to know him.
I mean, he's a nice guy, but offensive linemen really don't. That's just not their deal.
No, it wasn't his deal unless you're
meat, potatoes, and block.
Jason Kelsey or somebody, right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So now I ask you this. Tyron Smith or TJ Bass? Like Tyron Smith or Brock Hoffman, you just pointed out. Okay, so you mentioned TJ Bass. He started a couple of games last year, and he was quiet over there, so I guess it was pretty good. And yet he was undrafted out of Oregon.
And that's okay. That's not saying that he can't play. There's been plenty of players that have gone undrafted in the National Football League that went on to have successful careers.
Brock Hoffman started a couple of games at center last year, undrafted he's a second-year player. TJ Bass was a rookie, but a second-year player out of Virginia Tech. And I guess it went pretty well because I didn't hear his name called. I didn't hear holding. I didn't say, oh, my God. I guess he was pretty good. And Terrence Steele, undrafted out of Texas Tech, over at the right tackle. They finally paid him because he was pretty good. He's had some shaky games, but he's been generally pretty to very good. So there's undrafted, undrafted, undrafted. Are you telling me we're going to go with 3 undrafteds across the offensive line with Zach Martin getting another year older, and he's still played at an extremely high level? But you know and I know, at one of these points, it's going to start to decline. It just will, because he's getting up there. in not only age, but in plays played. He's starting to take a lot of punishment over there at the right guard position. Okay? Tyler Smith played left tackle at Tulsa, for what it's worth, but he found a home, a more comfortable home at left guard, where in the interior he could dominate, he could just be more of himself. He was a high penalized player, still is a high penalized player in pro football. But if you put him out there at left tackle, he's probably going to have to clutch and grab a little bit more, and he's going to get more holds called, and the refs seem to look for him.
Well, you're not moving somebody from right to left. You're moving somebody from left guard to left tackle.
Yeah.
So his natural position, like you said, at Tulsa, he was a grabber. He held on for dear life at times. That was just part of who he was, but he still was a first-round pick.
He was.
He still was a guy that people looked at and was like, well, we can fix that. Can the Cowboys fix it? Maybe. Yeah. Is he going to give you the same sort of stuff that Tyron Smith gave you? And I would argue to you and say, no, he's not. Because that dude was a road killer. Like he was still, he's one of the top 3 left tackles in the game. Still, to this day.
I can make a case he's top 1. When he's healthy,
you can make
a case.
Yeah, you can make that case.
Listen, $20 million with incentives, that could be a steal of a deal for the Jets. If they're going to load up, I assume OBJ is going to go there. I assume that they're going to try to load back up and prop back up Aaron and see if he can get through a year unscathed and see if they can hit the lottery.
You can't tell me that the Dallas Cowboys couldn't come up with something close to this deal you just can't tell me that.
Yeah.
And he's already at home. So let's say it wasn't a $20 million package. Let's say it was a $16 million package. He wouldn't have took that to stay with the Cowboys?
Boy, you would
Y'all
think so.
scream and holler. Everybody wants to be the Cowboys, the star. He moved on from you.
I think he made a pretty strong statement. I like Aaron Rodgers' chances. By the way, Aaron Rodgers has owned the Dallas Cowboys, so he's seen Aaron up close and personal in way too many big games and playoff games. And he just said, you know what? I'm going to wind down my career. I'm going to take a shot there. I got a better shot there than I got in Dallas.
So now it's Dak Prescott versus Aaron Rodgers. This is why he made his decision.
I don't doubt that had some, it played some part in it.
Or maybe he felt burned by y'all because he's your Hall of Fame left tackle, and you decided to let him go on the open market because you felt like, and I know Steven and Jerry, they think like this. They feel like when a guy hits the open market that he can't get what he's looking for in the open market, and they've missed out on that so many times.
Yeah.
They have many times.
Many times. All right, so don't underestimate. So they got the 23rd pick in the first round, and they will use it on an offensive lineman. I will bet you right here, right now.
Most likely.
And their 3rd or 4th round pick that'll be a left tackle. And the 3rd or 4th round pick somewhere in there, they'll draft a center by trade in college football so they can start to groom him. Will they be able to start right away? I don't know. Maybe the 1st round pick, maybe he'll plug in play. Maybe he'll be that good because it looks like, and I'm not like an expert on offensive linemen, but when I look at how deep it goes in offensive linemen, I'm pretty sure they're going to get a pretty good one with that pick.
Okay, if you think plugging in a rookie left tackle to protect